Hey everybody, welcome back into Pritches Get Stitches. Glad you're here, glad you found us. It's been a couple weeks, unexpected, just got busy. So Holly, how are you doing?
You know, I'm good. I don't think I'm ever busy. I mean, it's rare that I'm busy. So we need to put out that if it's ever because it was too busy, it was your fault busy.
Well, so, I mean, sometimes like I guess busy would be me. Traveling, anything like that would probably be you.
Truth. Like I'm unavailable because I'm traveling at the beach.
On an airplane.
Road trip with my 87-year-old landlord. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, can you really road trip in Hawaii? I mean, is that really a possibility? Like we're going to go on a road trip for 12 minutes.
I mean, we did. So anywhere on the island, if you're just going straight there without traffic, you can probably get around the whole course of the island in I would say 2 hours, assuming, right?
Right.
So I got my car last week.
Oh, yeah.
Last week? Yeah. I got my car last week, picked it up. So Saturday morning, I was going to go explore. And so Susan and I started chatting. And I mentioned how I was going to go over to the North Shore. And so, she has 2 kids on the island, but they've all got families and busy in life, and then she can drive around town and into Honolulu, but she doesn't really like to drive much further. So she hasn't really been anywhere. I mean, they do go golfing. There's a couple other golf courses they'll hit up on the island, like on the other side. But she's not been over there in a while. So I just mentioned that I was going to go tour, that I had my car. First of all, she loves my car and has talked me out of selling her now. So now I'm keeping her. But anyway, we road tripped. We left the house at I want to say it was probably 9 a.m. And we didn't get back till after 5. She took me all over. I took tons of pictures. She showed me a bunch of places because, you guys are coming and then my mom and dad come.
Well, you texted me that it was 10 o'clock in the morning and she was already trying to get you drunk.
Yes. So I love her though. But it was 10 in the morning. The bar hadn't even opened. We're driving from here to we were going to North Shore was the whole point. I wanted to go see that side of the island, see North Shore. And so first of all, I use GPS when I drive. She uses zero GPS. She just knows where shit is since 1975. So of course, GPS takes me the fastest route. It considers traffic, blah, blah, blah. Of course, it was the whole drive. Why are you going this way? This isn't the way you want to go. Why are you going this way? I will say she did make one suggestion that we veered off of because she wanted, the way that it was taking me was the fastest way. Right. And I had told her I wanted to take the scenic route. Well, because of that, it was automatically routing me the highway all over. She's like, no, get off there. You have to get off right here if we're taking the scenic route. So I veered off. Of course, then my GPS is turn around, you moron, over and over and over again. So finally she says, oh, just turn that stupid thing off. I know where we're going. So I was okay. So,
Yes, ma'am.
Turned it off and we end up at Turtle Bay Resort, which is a really nice resort here. I mean, it's $800 a night to stay in the cheapest room on a beautiful golf course. And she's like, oh, I love this golf course. It's so beautiful. And they have a really great bar at the beach. Let's go. So we get there. It's 10:30 maybe. And she's like, let's do Bloody Marys. Well, then she's like, oh, shoot, the bar's not open yet. And I'm like, it is 10:30.
10:30 in the morning. Usually later.
Right. So she's like, let's go find out. So we go and ask the guy at the front desk. He says, oh, it opens at 11. She's like, well, let's hang out. So we go down and sit by because the Turtle Bay, it's North Shore, but not where all of the competitions take place, North Shore. So, but it's got a great place to surf. But that day it was super windy and the water was super rough. So there was no surfers, but you can sit right on the water and watch people come right in. And she's like, oh, we sit here all the time and watch people surf out here all the time. So anyway, 10:45 rolls around and she sees that they've kind of opened the bar because it's called the Sunset Pool Bar, I think is what they call it. And so she peeks her head in and she says, are you guys serving drinks? And of course the guy's like, well, yeah, come on in.
Might as well.
Molly! So she yells my name. I come across. We're the first 2 at the bar. She orders us some Bloody Marys, which I don't like Bloody Marys. But she keeps forgetting I don't like Bloody Marys. It's the tomato juice. I just don't enjoy it, right? But she wanted me to try this one because it's epic. It's got bacon in it and all sorts of stuff. I mean, it wasn't terrible. It's just not my favorite.
Right.
But boy, I'll tell you what, very quickly that entire bar filled up. So I guess, everybody's there to drink. And plus, and then, there's a lot of people in there from out of town. So in their mind, their body, it's 4 or 5 hours ahead of time.
Right.
So, they're ready to go. But it was interesting. We sat there that day and we ended up sitting with about 3 or 4 professional NFL players.
Any of their numbers?
No, they were all there with their wives. But they were there for a wedding that Susan's grandson was going to be attending later that night. So a fellow player who used to be on the Texans from Hawaii, now plays somewhere else. I can't remember all the details. But one of the guys we sat next to was a Ravens player, and I just wanted to tell him I hated his team for beating us, but I was glad they lost. But I just had to play it really cool, we talked to a professional player, it doesn't bother me, but that's how she is because her grandson's a pro player, so it doesn't.
Right.
She's got no intimidation to walk up to these dudes, So she's like, "Oh yeah, my grandson plays," and we just stopped in. We're taking her on a tour of the island. We stopped in for a drink, but they were super nice, all of them there with their wives and talked about their families and.
Well, good.
So it was fun. Good time. But yeah, ended up being an all-day road trip. She was worn out by the time we got home. I mean, we had probably 5 drinks along that way on that road trip. I wasn't drunk. I wasn't even tipsy because, we spread them out. But it was very,
Right.
She's a good time. Yeah, she's,
good.
if I wasn't an alcoholic, she's going to turn me into one.
Yeah. Well, you're close, aren't you?
I mean.
Teetering?
Nah, I used to be. I was when I lived in Dallas for a while. I mean, I had to cut myself off because it was oh man, every day I'm drunk.
Yeah.
But even last night I went out with Nikki and only had a couple drinks.
Well, that's good that you can cut it off and know when to do that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Well, good. So, real quick, Holly, I've talked about these before. This is what I'm drinking today: the knockoff Dr. Pepper.
Oh, is it cough syrupy?
It's very cough syrupy. Dr. Goodwin.
Yes.
But it's straight up doctor. It says doctor.
Right.
On it. So it's a new kind of soda.
You always know when somebody's from Texas and when they're not, because when they spell Dr. Pepper, if they're not from Texas, they always put a period after the R.
Yep.
And then I'm there's no period after the R. And they're like, yes, there is. It's doctor. It's abbreviation. I'm like, the drink has no period.
I also know when they're not from Texas because they spell y'all wrong.
Y-A apostrophe.
Yeah, that's not how you spell it. You don't spell it Y-A apostrophe L-L. It's Y. It's a contraction of you all, not y'all. Come on. Y apostrophe A-L-L.
Speaking of Texas, today's Texas Independence Day.
Today is Texas Independence Day. Yes. Happy Independence Day, Texas.
Ooh, ooh.
We are free. We are free.
Had I realized that we were recording today and not on the 29th like originally planned, my fun fact of the day would have been about Texas independence.
Well, it's all right.
Now I feel like we need to push this fun fact of the day to next week, and then I'll Google some fun facts about Texas independence as you chat.
Oh, wow.
Is there anything you want to talk about?
Maybe, but the fun facts are about me, so why are we going to change?
Truth. All right. Fair
fine.
point. We'll do Texas independence next time.
Nobody knows. Hey, we'll just rewind this, and nobody will know it's Texas Independence Day. We'll just say, hey, Texas Independence Day was last week, or today we're recording. Actually, it is. It's a Saturday. It's a rare Saturday recording for us. Usually I spend my Saturdays taking naps and doing those kind of things. But honestly, I thought that I would, be done. Once football season was over, volleyball season was over, I thought I'm done. I don't have to worry about, talking about school volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
No more band. We're good. No. All of a sudden, Ava joins basketball. Now they're both,
right.
Jared and Ava are both on the track team. So,
Ava joined track.
Yeah, so she was in track and then she quit track the first day because she shows up, she's running sprints. So she shows up and, she goes to track the first day and then she comes home that night and she's like, yeah, I'm quitting track. I'm like, oh, really? Why? And she's like, why do I want to wake up at 7, wake up so early and then at 7:30 go run? I don't want to do that. And I'm like, I don't blame you.
100%.
But then her coaches told her she's, convinced her to run track again. So now she's running hurdles, 100 and 300. And she's running the 4x400, which is one lap around the track, each person, right. 4 of them.
Right.
And she's doing the mile, but she can only do 3. So she did not do the mile at this first track meet, which she didn't do the hurdles either. They canceled the hurdles because of the rain. So all she did was the 4x400 and they won. They beat all the 8th grade teams and they beat all the 7th grade teams.
Oh, wow. Good deal. All right.
Legit. So anyways, it's just been crazy. And then Jared has a track meet and Jared's track meets, it's the running portion of the track meet is very scheduled. So it's hey, we're going to start at 2:00 and then this one's at 2:15 and this one's at 2:20 and this one's
right.
It ain't like that. He's in the field event. So he does triple jump. So it's he's like, hey, like they kind of start the event at 12, like the girls are first and then varsity and then us. And it's like, okay, what time should we be there? He's like, I don't know, like 12:30. We show up at 12:30. He doesn't jump till 2.
How come he's not doing like any of the running?
I don't know. You have to ask him. He wasn't even in track. He wasn't even in track. He wasn't even part of it.
Oh, gotcha.
And then his coach is like, one of the coaches was like, what are you doing Friday? He's like, I don't think I'm doing anything. He's like, okay, you're doing a track meet. It's like his birthday. They're like, you're doing a track meet. Like, show up, you're doing the triple jump. He's like, okay. So
Hilarious.
He triple jumped like 39 feet yesterday.
Yeah. He's improved. He and I texted after, and he's improved by 2 feet every meet. So his next meet, he is trying to get 41 feet.
41. All right. Well, good. Got a long way to go.
That's his personal goal. But he set a personal record at yesterday's meet.
Yeah.
He
3 PRs.
Sent me the final. He sent me the final. I don't know, places, whatever I'm trying to think of. So
what place was he at?
He placed 5th overall out of 10. So
there's some kids, middle of the road. Hey, real quick.
Which isn't bad considering he hadn't done any.
Yeah. Real quick, I'm going to read what this says. Oli Pop.
Okay.
It says, crack open a swift kick of boldly refreshing flavors. Dr. Goodwin is a head-on collision of ingredients like rich plums, sweet prunes, and zesty tart cherries with a touch of pure vanilla extract for a true soda enigma the doctor would actually order.
I'm surprised they've not been sued over that. Just what the doctor ordered.
No, they didn't say just what the doctor ordered. This is what the doctor would actually order.
But the fact that, would the doctor actually order that though, Scott? If you were the doctor and you had a choice between Dr. Goodwin and Dr. Pepper.
Depends on what kind of doctor I am, I guess.
A quack job would choose the Dr. Goodwin, I bet.
Disgusting. Okay, so what are we eating, Holly? We talked about a few things. I forgot to go to the store on my way home from working today. I was out serving some papers, and I was like, I need to stop at Kroger on the way back, but traffic was terrible, and I just wanted to get home and didn't even think about it. So, what do you got?
Today I have Vienna sausages.
Oh, you got the Libby's? You're supposed to get the blue can.
Listen, I went. This was my
the blue
third
can?
store. The third store, Hormel maybe? I don't know.
Wow.
The third store. Nobody carries these. Why? Because 20 different varieties of Spam. This was on the very top shelf at Safeway. I had gone to Target and Whole Foods. Oh, they stink so bad. Holy crap. I already pulled the lid off. And had to scour the shelves for this. And this was the only one they sold. They sold this individual one and then like a 20 pack of them. And at first I didn't see the little individual one. I saw that 20 pack and I was about to be like, nah, this ain't happening.
It ain't happening. Yeah. So here's the deal. Because I didn't go to the store and get Vienna sausages, I'm going to eat something different. And then next week, we'll swap and I'll eat Vienna sausages and you'll eat tuna in oil. Like, I don't even know what it is about tuna in oil.
Sounds gross.
I haven't even opened it yet. I know it's going to taste like tuna, but there's something about the oil and like, I remember opening it one time when I was a kid and like seeing it. And I was like, I don't think so. Now we've had this forever.
Is it expired?
I was just looking at that. We've had it forever. Like, I couldn't tell you where we even got it, but it's best by the way, did you know the best if used by is not the expiration date?
Correct.
Like something like this doesn't like really expire.
Right. As long as it's sealed, it's good. Unless the only way you can, if the can top
or if the can is
like deforms, bloats, then it's bad. They have to have that Best By for FDA regulations.
So it's Best By 6/10/2024. And I think
you've probably had it at least 2 years.
We brought this. No, I think we brought this from McKinney.
Oh, so
6 years ago.
6 years. Okay.
I'm going to open mine up here.
Well, I opened mine.
So
and I'm not going to lie. I cheated.
Oh, boy.
I opened it and saw all the nasty jelly it was in and thought I cannot just pull this out and eat it. I had to wash it.
Really?
But then I remembered that's what we did as kids. We never just pulled it out of the jar.
We did?
No, we didn't. We always washed it off with what? No, we didn't. We always washed it.
Dad probably did.
Dad probably drank the jelly. He's like, how much are you going to give me to
drink
drink
this? $10.
He would.
I think when we have Dad on, we got to eat mayonnaise.
$20 is $20. Mayonnaise, Crisco, and dark chocolate baking powder.
All right, so I'm opening this can lid.
Oh, God. That's just so everybody knows. I chugged my coffee because the thought of drinking my delicious coffee after I ate this Vienna sausage was just enough to ruin my day.
This is so gross. Like you can see this oil just dripping off, and that's like oil. It's like thick oil.
Are you supposed to wash it first?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Oh, I can't.
You've got enough Dr. Goodwin, right? I should probably pour myself a vodka tonic. It's only 10:40, but it's almost 3 where you are, right?
Yeah, it's 2:40. Okay. I mean, am I supposed to like because it's
So saying, should you go like wash it? I feel bad for you.
This is so disgusting.
Okay, here we go.
I mean,
Oh,
it's
these
like
Vienna sausages.
and it's like
soupy.
okay, so
Okay, let's see it. Ugh, it's dripping off.
and it's like on there.
Oh, that's gross.
Like I don't even know what kind of oil it's in.
Why did we like Vienna sausages as kids too?
I don't. Did we like it? Like I don't know. The option was Vienna. The option was Vienna sausages or tuna fish.
No,
or
the options were peanut butter, turkey, ham. We had options, and we always opted for Vienna sausage sandwich. Did you spill your Dr. Goodwin or your oil?
I almost spilled the oil. Oh,
okay, we
here
ready?
We go. Oh, I don't even know. Here we go.
My stomach is turning for you. Here we go.
I mean, it's just like I gotta bring this up. It's just drips. But I'm like, how do you like? I can't dump oil down the sink. I mean, I guess I have to.
You
drain
it. You'd have to drain it.
Drain it into like a garbage can.
Really, you just don't want to pour bacon.
But see, with water, it's like in tuna and water. At least it's like the tuna comes from water, and like you're gonna mix it. Like this is just oily. Okay, here we go. Ready?
Oh, wait a minute. I guess I could have. This wasn't oil. It's not jelly. It's chicken broth. This is Vienna sausage made with chicken, beef, and pork added in chicken broth.
All right.
It still looked gross. I still wasn't willing. Okay, here we go. 3.
Are you ready?
Oh, God, this stinks so bad. 3, 2, 1.
Okay. I ain't gonna lie. Drinking too soon.
Making my eyes water.
So the oil isn't too bad. You spit it out. You couldn't drink it. You couldn't swallow it, huh? Oh, okay.
I thought I was going to throw up. Ugh. So gross. That texture. Oh,
Well,
the aftertaste is even worse.
I'm excited for next week. You gonna eat those? You gonna?
Oh no, those are going in the trash. Just like my Spam did.
I'm gonna take another bite. Let me see here.
Oh, you're gross.
So the oil.
Ugh.
So I can eat some tuna fish, okay? Mm-mm. In fact, I'm gonna take this out there. I'm gonna make a tuna fish sandwich.
Gross.
I haven't eaten yet. But the oil actually.
Ugh.
I won on this one. You got the short end of the stick, I think, with the Vienna sausages. Because the oil's not too bad. I think just seeing it, like, you know,
seeing it is worse than it is.
Yeah, like it's not too bad. I can't taste the oil because all I'm thinking of is like tuna and oil, and I'm thinking like vegetable oil. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Speaking of oil, okay, I'm going to share this story. Speaking of oil, and I may have shared this story before. I don't know. How many episodes in are we? 50, 40?
50.
Something like that. So one time we go to Brett and Cindy's house for a birthday, somebody's birthday. And we're up there hanging out, and Dad brings his famous chocolate cake, right?
Oh, I love this story.
He brings his cake, and Dad will be on soon. He can defend himself here. There's nothing to defend here.
Maybe we let Dad tell the story. Maybe we hold off and let Dad tell that story.
Well, here's the thing. He was gone when the best part of this whole story happened. So we show up, and he brings this cake, and it's kind of flatter than normal. Like it's not like as fluffy looking.
So this cake, by the way, we need to put out that it's like his famous deep dark chocolate cake. And everybody loves it. Everybody wants it. And he's proud of this cake. And
you ask him, where'd you get the recipe? Did you make it up yourself? He says, no, I looked on the back of the Hershey's Cocoa box, and I added an extra egg. That's his recipe.
And that's his recipe. So now because he's added the egg, it's his recipe.
Yes. And so it's normally like 3 layers. Each
Or
layer
thick.
is about this thick, and it's 3 layers
Delicious.
high. And he makes homemade frosting, the whole deal. And we show up, and we're like, Dad, your cake looks kind of, shorter than normal. And he's like, that's even 4 layers. I don't know what's happened. I had to make a 4th layer because it was so short. The 3 layers or layers like. So he cuts the cake, and we all get a piece of this cake, and it's super moist, like really moist and dense. And like the layers are super thin. And we're like, Dad, what is going on? He's like, I have no idea.
Not good either. It's weird though.
I mean, it's like a weird flavor.
Like a weird aftertaste flavor.
Yeah. So the cake itself wasn't terrible. I ate the whole thing, but it wasn't fluffy.
Right. And it wasn't, we knew there was something off about it. Like, this does not taste like Dad's chocolate cake.
Right. And he's like, I had to make a 4th layer just to like bring the height up. Anyways, so we're all eating. Nobody like goes for seconds. And so there's
usually the cake is always gone.
Yes. So there's extra cake. Well, everybody leaves except me and Val. And we probably just had Jared at the time, maybe. But me and Val stay. Everybody else leaves. We're playing a game with their kids. And it's inside of the like cake pan, the cake, not pan, but,
The cake holder.
Cake display thing.
It's like a Tupperware.
All of a sudden, we hear, it's like... And we look back and we're like, what the heck was that? We look back and the cake had slid off of itself.
The top couple
layers were like, and had fallen. And we're like, oh my gosh, like this is terrible. Like what is happening to this cake? So fast forward. So we call my dad and we're like, dude, what did you do? And he's like, well.
No, I think we talked about it on Sunday because Chad was there.
Whatever. Oh, well,
the whole thing is Chad made the comment. So it's Sunday dinner. Like the following week or something. Uh-huh. So it's like Sunday dinner, I think. We're all sitting around the table talking about it. And Dad's like, yeah, I don't know that cake was so weird. I don't know what happened. I just used the oil on the counter. And Chad stops and says, Dad, what oil on the counter did you use? He's like, I don't know. There was just this mason jar of oil sitting on the counter. So I just used it. And Chad's like, why did you use that oil? And Dad's like, I don't know. It was just there. And he's like, that's the oil I fry fish in. You used that oil? It was fish fry oil that Chad would like fry the fish in and pour it in and just use it a couple times. For whatever reason, Dad, instead of pulling oil out of the pantry like normal, sees that oil and uses it.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Just used it for the cake. So we had a cake made with fish oil and it was like fried fish oil and it was disgusting. And to the point where it slid off of itself. So... Anyways,
point is, don't make a cake with fried fish oil.
And what's funny is, in kind of on the cooking, Val, it's because I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to tell her, obviously, we don't have polls anymore. I'll tell you about that later. But Val is famous for forgetting an ingredient, so she'll have all the ingredients out, and she's like baking whatever, and she's like, oh, I forgot to put the sugar in, or I forgot to put the salt, or I forgot to. So the question is, and you can make a comment here on the show or whatever.
Let's just set it up as a question and then say, like we
can add a question.
Like here's the selection and answer with your answer. So we won't have a poll. People have to go in and answer it. But.
Yeah. So if Facebook has eliminated the poll option, we can't add a poll anymore, which is kind of dumb. But anyways, so the question is, I guess like, have you ever used like the wrong ingredient, or what's something you've made where you're like, this is my famous whatever, and then you forgot something and it was just terrible? Like, has that ever happened to you? So that was kind of my question. Or do you forget ingredients and all of a sudden instead of it being sweet, it's not sweet, kind of a thing? So
I've done that before where I use salt instead of sugar. In cookies. This is why I don't bake cookies, but it was the worst cookie. It was terrible. But yeah, I'm adding this to the notes, which is why I'm looking over this way. So yeah, I would say Vienna sausage. I don't know if it's worse than Spam or tied with Spam. It was bad.
Your reaction's about the same.
Yeah. I probably, if I would have had to eat the other half of that, I would have definitely thrown up.
So everybody says Spam's better fried. You can't really fry Vienna sausages, so it's just kind of like,
truth.
How do you eat Vienna sausages? Well, you eat them like, just eat them, or you squish them up and you put mayonnaise in them and you make a sandwich.
Make it a sandwich. That's how we used to eat them.
So yeah, maybe we can put that up there too. Like, have you ever had a Vienna sausage and mayonnaise sandwich?
Ugh.
And if not, like, make one and send us a picture.
I had to go brush my teeth. I'm not even going to lie. That was so terrible.
So Val is Val's out in the living room, and I walked out. Just for our listeners, we probably cut this out right before this, but we had to get rid of the tuna fish and the Vienna sausages from our room here, our rooms,
and my mouth. I had to go brush my teeth and use mouthwash.
So my wife's out there, and I walked out, and she turns to me and she looks at me and says, "I hear you talking about me in there." I said, "Well, you are. You're the queen of missing an ingredient." And she goes, "Listen, I have adult ADD first, and second, when I'm cooking, I'm always hungry when I'm cooking. That's why I'm cooking, and my brain's not thinking right." And I said, "Okay, you got a point." She's like, I almost peeked my head in there, and
you better talk quieter. You'll be sleeping on the couch.
No, that's why we usually do this when she's gone. Mm-hmm. So Holly, I wouldn't let you change the fun fact of the day because this past week I celebrated a birthday. I'm the big 4-1. So now you've got some fun facts all about me. Well, maybe not about
kind of. Not even really about you, really, but
about my birthplace.
Right. So Scott, in case you guys don't know, was born in Alaska. So we always joke that he's a native Alaskan.
Yep.
Too bad you're not really a native Alaskan, though, because if you were actually a native Alaskan, boy, you could get some government breaks.
Yeah, well, I think I can if I move back to Alaska. I think there's some.
I mean, it might be worth it, bro.
I can't.
There's probably
I can't even handle a week. I can't even handle like 3 days of like cold weather.
I'm just saying there's got to be plenty of business up there because a lot of people move to Alaska when they're like in trouble with the law because the law people don't want to go up to Alaska. Like, ain't nobody want to go up there. So you have plenty of paperwork to serve.
I ain't trying to serve nobody that's in trouble with the law. That's like, let me get shot, right?
Fair point. All right. Well, in honor of Scott's birthday, these fun facts deal with a place in Alaska called Whittier, Alaska. So this fun fact, Whittier, this fun fact is courtesy of Heidi. However,
Heidi.
When Heidi had sent this to me, I was like, oh my gosh, I read an article about this. Like, it was years ago I read it, but as soon as I started reading it, I remembered it. So it's really cool. So the town of Whittier, Alaska is known for having almost the entire town's population living in a single building.
Oh, wow.
The building, and I don't know how to pronounce this, so I'm going to say Begich. The building known as Begich Towers is a 14-story apartment complex that houses 272 residents, or 90% of the town's population. And this has earned Whittier the nickname of a town under one roof. So the building was originally Army barracks, and now not only houses residents, but also has a post office, general store, police station, laundromat, health clinic, mayor's office, and a heated indoor pool.
Wow. I'm looking at it right now.
Right. So it's like,
it's literally nothing except that building.
Right. So the town is only accessible by air or through a single lane tunnel that stretches 2+ miles through the neighboring Maynard Mountain. So I'm not driving 2 miles.
Wait.
That's a long, I have to go through some tunnels here and they make me nervous. I don't know why tunnels make me nervous other than I just imagine that
bridges
the structures, bridges, driving over water makes me super nervous. So truth. So I guess driving in a tunnel, which would be like a reverse bridge, also makes me nervous. But the weather is harsh during the winter, so the building offers the town's residents a practical living situation. There is a second building in which the remaining 10% of the population live. And the school and gym are located in a third location, but are connected to the towers by tunnel, allowing for easy access for residents during winter month. So yeah, that's the fun fact. Whittier, Alaska, probably not somewhere. You know what? I'm just going to say right now, I'm not adding Whittier, Alaska to my bucket list. Like, not a place I want to travel.
I'd love to travel there. Are you kidding me? That's on my bucket list. I've got Alaska on my list of places to go.
You should do an Alaskan cruise. You love cruises.
No, we will. We will. That's on there. That's one of the things we're going to do. But
definitely not on mine.
But I can't go to Fairbanks.
Why?
What? The North Pole is in Alaska? Next to Fairbanks?
Mm-hmm.
What?
You have pictures of it.
What?
You have pictures from kids when we were at the North Pole, bruv.
That ain't the North Pole, though. Come on. There ain't no way.
Is it? Okay, we're going to ask Google. Except I'm not going to ask Google, because if I ask Google, then it's going to just continue.
North Pole, yeah, it ain't the North Pole. North Pole is a small Alaskan city near Fairbanks. It's known for its year-round Christmas decoration. Dude, I'm going to freaking North Pole, Alaska, right next to Fairbanks. Including candy cane striped streetlights. Santa Claus House is a Christmas store with walls covered in children's letters to Santa and a huge Santa statue outside.
I wonder if that's where the post office sends the letters that come in, because they do send them. Where do they send them?
They don't. They don't send them.
They do. They send them out to the North Pole.
No, they don't.
Right there.
No, I got a letter back. I don't know where Jace is.
Oh, shoot. You better cut quietly.
Jace sent a letter, and I got a letter back from the post office that said, hey,
don't deliver them anymore.
We got your letter. Mm-hmm. I'd have to go get it. I have it. But basically, we wanted to let you know, here's how they get delivered. They get delivered to Santa Claus. They sent me a letter from the post office. It said, we got your son's letter. We got your letter from your child to go to Santa Claus. And here's his letter.
Oh, I thought they actually sent them up to the town of North Pole.
They sent them to Santa Claus, which is
in the North Pole, bruv. Okay, but for clarification purposes, boy, we look like idiots. We may have to take this whole part out if we're talking about where's the actual North Pole and do they send letters. I may make you edit this part out.
The North Pole is not in Alaska. It's over in in the North Pole. It's in the
middle of the Arctic Ocean.
Yeah, it's in the Arctic Ocean. I knew that.
On water that is almost always covered with ice. The ice is about 2 to 3 meters thick, which is 6 to 10 feet. The depth of the ocean at the North Pole is more than 4,000 meters or 13,123 feet. And the Canadian territory of Nunavut. Nunavut? Mark Reynolds, tell me if that's how you pronounce it.
None of it.
Closest to the North Pole. I'll take none of it. That must be why it's called that. I want none of it.
I want none of it. That's why they changed it. Yeah.
There you go.
Anyways, the Alaskan cruise will probably do that. I'll probably go on an Alaskan cruise one day. But it's not going to go to my hometown. It's not going to go to Fairbanks. Fairbanks, in the middle of Alaska. So I do want to kind of go some of those places.
Why don't you do it? Do they have the cruise that you can cruise and then you can get out and go do things and it's docked there for 3 or 4 days?
If I go, because it'll go to Anchorage, right? So if I go Anchorage directions to Fairbanks.
Does it go to Anchorage or does it go to Juneau?
Some of them go to Anchorage and some of them probably go to Juneau. But that's a 6.5 hour drive from Anchorage to Fairbanks.
And that's kind of like a military town. I don't know if it's worth it.
Come on. I gotta go back to my.
Listen, ask me the last time I went to Dothan.
And Juneau's all the way over here in freaking Canada.
Right. Ask me the last time I went to Dothan, Alabama.
When was the last time you went to Dothan,
1981, when we left.
No, ain't nobody wants to go to Dothan.
What's the capital? I don't know why anybody would want to go up there. Juneau's the capital. No. Nome.
Seeing if you knew.
Is Nome or Juneau? Juneau.
Juneau.
Yeah, that's
the only reason why we know the name Juneau, because it's the capital.
Truth.
Anyway, so I'm gonna use all my ref money and all my shirt money to go on vacations. I've decided that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use I'm gonna feel like one of these football players, right? Like Gronkowski and these guys. Some of these guys, when they were in the NFL, they never spent their NFL money. They only spent their endorsement money. So they never spent their salary. So they just would pack their salary and then they would spend their endorsement money only. They'd live on their endorsement money. Obviously, probably the first year until he got some endorsements. Right. He probably had to. But once he started getting endorsements, he only lived on his endorsement money. So that's my endorsement money, right? Like my shirt money and my t-shirt money and my, the other thing. What'd I say? Ref money. And then all the money we make from the podcast. I'm gonna add all those together.
$52. All $52. Is that what we've made?
It's
so far?
$50.
Maybe only 50.
Yeah, 50. So all that added together, and that's how I'm gonna live on my business money, and I'm gonna vacation on my
side hustle money.
On my side hustle.
I need to get into the side hustle business though. The shirt business. I got to get into.
Side hustle's fun, man.
I know, but the shirt business, I feel like I need to just cut out the middleman. I need to cut you out altogether.
I bet you would want to. You need to.
I know. I need
to
go buy a heat press. Then here's the problem. I'm gonna be honest. Here's the problem.
Yeah, you don't want to do it. I know you don't want to do it.
It's not that I don't want to do it. It's not that I don't want to do it. I live a minute from the beach, bro. Yesterday I had a bunch of errands to run. I looked out the window when I woke up, was like, I could do those errands later. I spent 7.5 hours at the beach. I'm talking to Skarin. I'm like, girl, I'm never going to get shit done. I was supposed to do all these errands today. She said, did those errands really need to be run today? And it's like, well, kind of, yeah. None of them got done. And even now. I'm like, oh, sun's out. Looks kind of nice.
Guns out, guns out. Yeah.
I'm going
you're
to the
like,
beach. That's
you're like,
it.
hey, when are we recording? Because I need to get to the beach.
I know.
So, yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing. I'll distribute your shirts and your patterns to you. You just buy them from me and you can press them yourself.
Gotta get all this stuff then to do that. But it wouldn't be bad. I could do it at night. That's the whole thing. I could do it in the morning because I'm up at 3:15 for work. When I, not in meetings or, doing something, I could do it right here. I have plenty of space. I should just do it. All right. Send me the Amazon link that you got your heat press.
That's why I'll win. I'll win because I'll just do it. Some people, they talk about it till they die and then they never do it.
So send me the link. Send me the link and I'm going to do it.
All right. Okay. All right. So last show, Holly, you made me say, I don't even know if I can say it. But I said it perfect. First shot.
You did.
6 chic, 6 sheep sick.
I still can't say it, so I'm not even going to try.
Yeah, let me hear you.
Hold on. I got to open up the...
I had to open up the other one.
I have to go open up the other one here real fast to see if I can say it. Okay. It is... where'd it go? Where are we at?
February 15th.
Oh, here we go. Six sheeps, 6 sheeps sick.
Okay.
Oh, got it.
So I saw one last night, and let's see if you can say this one. Ready?
Okay, let's do it.
I don't even know if I can do this one. It was tough. Irish wristwatch. Irish wrist.
Okay.
Irish wristwatch.
Irish wristwatch.
Nope.
Irish wrist. Nope, can't do it. Irish wristwatch.
Irish wristwatch. Boom. I'm pretty good at that.
Irish wristwatch. I'm good too. Did you hear that? Sounded just like it.
No.
Irish wristwatch.
Irish wristwatch. Anyways, that's a new one for you guys. I know you're in the car right now. All those that listen to us, Sean, Scaren, Kuzak, Heidi, Mom, Dad. Irish wristwatch. Can you say that?
Irish wristwatch. Nope. Hey, we do have a new listener though.
Anyways,
I got a message, a text. Marla Dortzbach.
Marla Dortzbach. Okay.
Her last name is now Burns, but she's always going to be Marla Dortzbach.
Right, of course.
So she was driving through. So she's, for everybody, she's a friend of mine that I had. We grew up together. Texas. Her dad ended up retiring. I want to say she was 14. Her dad retired. They moved back to Utah, and we kept in contact over the years. When I moved to Utah, I hung out with her a few times.
Real quick, I feel like everybody retired and moved somewhere except us.
Us.
I guess the Edwards. Well, for you, for me.
But I mean, you think about it, everybody else kind of like had that. What's the word I'm looking for? Like had somewhere where mom and dad, like California was too expensive to move in 89 with all the kids that we had. You know what I mean? Yeah. And by then grandma had moved to us.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Anyway, she messaged. So we've just been chatting because she was in Killeen. They were down in Austin for a hockey game for her son. And then she had her husband and all of them drive up to Killeen so she could kind of show them where she grew up. And so she texted me and we started chatting. And then I told her about the podcast. So shout out to our new listener.
Yeah.
Marla.
Straight up.
Happy to have you.
Yes. Yep. We're up to 17.
Puts us at, I was going to say, it almost puts us at an even number. Almost hitting 20. We're close, guys. Get us there.
I'm just messing. But who knows how many? I don't even know. All right. So
all of them. Yeah, I don't know either.
Okay, so I mentioned Facebook doesn't have polls. So Frankie we dubbed him our poll master, and immediately I couldn't put any polls up anymore. Like that's like the ultimate. Like, hey, we really want you to do this, except we don't need that guy anymore. So like, sorry.
I mean, except we can. He can still give us polls, and we'll just
you just gave us a good idea. You just gave us a good idea.
Just have to answer.
So here's his question from here's his newest poll. So last time we had jelly beans. We really only had one person, I think, answer the jelly beans. I was scaring. She, let me get there.
That's unfortunate though, because I think had there been a poll option, more people would have answered.
Yeah, and she was actually the one who reminded us, like, hey, you haven't even put the poll up yet. And I'm like, oh yeah. I forgot about that.
She texted me and it's like, I'm listening to the podcast and I don't see the poll.
Let's see. Yeah. So she told us that she eats jelly beans or other candy by the handful, not separated. I'm with you. I look at them and then I just chow them down. But she said, with that being said, I can't even tell you the last time I ate candy, which is a sad, sad life. So Scaren, I'm sorry that you haven't had candy. It's been a while since I've had candy.
We all make trade-offs in our life. we all make trade-offs in our life. And I can't really tell you the last time I had candy, but I can tell you the last time I had some alcohol. So, I mean, Karen's a beer. We love our beer. We love our, alcohol. And so you have to like choose wisely. Plus sugar really makes me sick. I've noticed that.
Yeah. Okay. So, and one more thing I have to bring up. So our great content creator that we have that works with us, she made this reel for my birthday, right?
Thank you, Holly.
You made the reel?
Of course I didn't make it. I don't know how to do that, but it was my idea.
Oh. So she makes this reel, and there's this picture of me, and I just have to let you guys know, the very first picture with my butt cut hairstyle.
Oh, I love it.
I'm pretty sure I had braces in that picture.
You wore your hair like that for like all of high school almost.
I wore that butt cut quite often for a long time. But I'm pretty sure that picture had braces. And I think she edited my braces out of my teeth.
Are you sure?
I'm almost
I
positive.
have the picture. I sent her the picture. Like all the pictures that she has, it's because I sent them to her.
But my tooth looks like it's jacked up really bad.
Do you have snaggle teeth?
It looks like it. So Taylor.
Oh no, it's not. They're not edited out. You can still see them. If you look real close, that one.
Yeah, but that's not the picture.
That. Oh, maybe she didn't use that picture.
That's the picture. That's the picture.
Maybe she thought you had stuff on your. Oh, she must have. She thought
that
she was like, he's got some nasty looking teeth in this picture.
I appreciate the editing of the braces. However,
I wonder if she used the AI app.
She may have.
Have you seen the AI app where?
Because I'm like, it kind of looks like me. I gotta add. Taylor, I know you're listening. You gotta let me know. How do we do this?
It might be the one Heather uses, and when she added some color to some pictures to Dad.
Yeah.
Did I ever show you that?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And then they start singing.
Like those. Yeah. Yes. It's hysterical.
And it says, "Go Shotty, go Shotty. It's your birthday." I just thought it could have said. She said, "Go Scotty, it's your birthday."
Except she's not fitty.
Did you sip Bacardi for me on my birthday?
I sipped. What day was that?
27th. I don't know. Tuesday.
I probably had beer. I sipped some beer like it was your birthday.
What was the one thing that the guy asked for? Corvette guy. Steakhouse. Come on now. He drove the white Corvette, drove all the way from somewhere, met you.
He asked for...
What was it? Ciroc. Ciroc?
Ciroc. I was going to say cognac, but yeah, it was Ciroc. I did not drink Ciroc.
Okay.
Sorry.
Anyways,
I just got a porter.
I just wanted to bring that up because it popped up and I was like, wait, that's not my tooth. That's not my tooth.
What she probably did was use, because the photos were like grainy, because it was like a picture of a picture. So she probably used the touch up on the AI to touch them up. And then it was like, oh, this guy got some gross teeth, because
really, he does.
It was really the braces, but yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Okay. So our poll this week, we already added another one, but this is from old Frankie.
We added two other ones. So this is our third.
So Frankie and I went to a restaurant the other evening, and the salad bar had a plethora of salad dressings. And his favorite is red wine vinegar and plain old salad oil. Gross.
For real.
Which they didn't have. So which dressing would you choose? And you got ranch, which is the one I would choose.
I feel like a majority is going to say ranch.
Thousand Island, which is fry sauce.
Thousand Island. Hawaiian. Every time I see that, that's all I think of. Name the movie. Do you know the movie?
Is it Cracking Up with
Jerry Lewis? I haven't watched that forever.
And he sat on the chair and he just kept sliding. That's all I remember. He keeps sliding off the chair. And then he gets in there like, we got 100 Island, Thousand Island, Hawaiian Island. Okay, blue cheese, Italian, balsamic vinegar and olive oil, which is close. Red wine vinegar, I guess. And then other. So I would venture to say ranch and Italian are going to be the two top.
I would say if I had to choose, it would probably be ranch, Italian, or I would have made my own little Caesar salad and used a Caesar salad dressing.
Yeah, I mean, Caesar's not on there. Another one is French dressing. Remember that one?
Catalina. It's the same as French. I use Catalina/French whenever I make my taco salads.
It's kind of like zangy.
It's zingy.
It's zangy. It's tangy and zingy at the same time.
Yep.
Zangy.
Zangy.
Yeah. Anyways. So anyways, that's our poll. That's our question. When was the last time you had a salad, Holly?
I had one a couple days ago. What day was it? I don't know, a couple days ago. I go to Whole Foods every once in a while and get stuff, and so another alcohol-related situation. Susan and I went one time. We had to go into Honolulu last weekend, maybe the weekend prior. And she had to run some errands, and so we went in, and she always likes to stop and get lunch. And of course, we typically go to Nico's, which is like a fresh seafood right there on the pier. And they have a bar, so we always get drinks. Doesn't matter what time it is. So she had a Bloody Mary, and the bartender there who made it did a Guinness float on top. And so she just fell in love with it. And she'll tell you she's not really a beer drinker. So she asked the guy if she could just try the Guinness. So he gave her some Guinness, and boy, she loved it. So she wanted to make some Bloody Marys or drink a Guinness. And so I said, well, I got to run into town. I'll get you some Guinness. So I stopped over at Whole Foods because they have a whole bunch of weird shit there, but they have like a great liquor and wine section and beer, which I don't understand because most of their shit is like gluten-free, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But super great alcohol selection. So they also have a bar in the grocery store. So every time I go there, I'm always like, well, I have to stop and have a beer. So I ordered us some takeout food that night because neither one of us felt like cooking. So I ordered us a chicken Caesar salad and wings and fries, and we split it. And she drank a Guinness for the first time. And was just in heaven. Yeah, ever. We sat in the hot tubbed it up. Then we had dinner and drank some Guinness. So yeah, long story. Jesus, sorry about that.
So, Holly, you talked about this before, and you told me that you joined the canoe club, and I haven't heard anything about it since. All I've heard about is you gallivanting around the island, drinking beer, and having fun, but I haven't heard about the canoe club.
Okay, so the reason you haven't heard is it's been off season. And I signed up in January, and this past Monday we had our very first meeting.
You got a car behind you honking their horn or what?
They're locking up. I live right at the beach, and so there's beach parking. So people come here, they lock their car and go to the beach. But, they have to make sure it's extra safe, so they always click their button like 5 times, and it honks 5 times, and they know now it's locked. So signed up for the canoe club. Also was like, I've got to get in the gym. Canoeing starts in March. Got to get in shape. So when I get out there, I don't get killed.
Yeah.
Get an email couple weeks ago, hey, we have a novice. So I'll be part of the novice B team, meaning I've never paddled. I did get a lecture from Susan also.
So you're not on varsity?
No, I'm JV right now.
It sounds like you're like freshman
less than
team.
JV. I'm like freshman team. So I keep calling it rowing, and Susan's like, the other day when we were talking about it, she's like, listen, like she got very serious, and she's like,
I need to tell you something.
Don't be calling this rowing. Like they are very serious about it, and they will kick you out. It is paddling. You need to get that through your mind. So of course the rest of the conversation, I kept saying rowing, paddling. So anyway, meeting was last Monday. I get there. It's like me and probably 20 to 30 women. And if you've never rowed, if you've never paddled, you start on the novice B team. The first time, if during the season, during the regattas, you row even one time, the next year you are considered novice A. So if you don't ever row in a regatta, then again, the next year you're novice B.
Okay. I thought you said like novice A, like it was like a.
Oh no!
Like it was like a you are novice A, and I'm like yes, and I'm like, so you're not even like a novice right now, and then I realized you said novice A, not novice A.
Right. So if you've never paddled, you don't get in a regatta, then it's you're novice B. If you do, then you're novice A. So the coach starts off, and he's like, "Okay, everybody who's supposed to be here, I want to make sure you all know that this is a competitive league. Like we're serious about our rowing. We're serious about our paddling. We don't mess around.
Right.
Like we're here to win. If you're not here to be competitive and win, you're in the wrong place. You go join that rec league. Like they are like, we are part of the Lanakai.
Who are you like paddling against? You
go against other clubs on the island, but inter-island as well. Okay. So he's like, we're the Lanakai Canoe Club. We are the state champions right now in XYZ. Blah, blah, blah. He's going on. He's like, we are here to win. So if you are not here to win, please leave and go to the rec league. So of course, even if somebody wanted to leave and go to the rec league, nobody's going to stand up at this point and leave. Like, oh shoot, like I'm scared now. So he goes through everything, and he's like counting the girls. So he's like, okay, so there's 20 girls, brand new. That means we have 9 seats. We have one 6-man canoe and one 6-man mixed canoe.
Right.
So we have 9 seats, and with 20 girls, that means that every week is a competition for a seat. Every week you are auditioning to get on with the crew. So he's like, practices are Tuesday, Thursdays. We usually start, get here about 4:45. We're on the water by 5. Saturday mornings, 8 a.m., sometimes 7 a.m. Like, we're serious about it.
Right.
And he's like, you need to be conditioning and working out. And I will be able to tell. And then I'm thinking, shit, I spent the last 2 months laying on the beach. I was supposed to join a gym. I never did. So now I'm scared.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm like, great. So we had the whole meeting, and then he's
Did you want to get up and leave at that moment?
I did kind of, but then I'm like, shoot, I already paid $265 dues. I'm sticking it through at least one season. So then it's like, he's like, you need to go in. We have our first practice on the water on Tuesday. We'll do a swimming assessment. He's like, you'll have to swim 100 yards. He's like, it's not timed. We just need to make sure everybody's comfortable in the water. So I don't care how long you take. If you can swim and you're comfortable in the water, that's all we're looking for. You have to be able to tread water for 5 minutes. So I'm like, okay. So he's like,
good thing you grew up with a swimming pool.
Yep. He's like, you need to go get a paddle, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, I got to pick up a paddle. So that was one of the errands I was supposed to go yesterday, was go get fitted. Like, they fit you for a paddle. It's this whole thing. Well, then after practice, like after the meeting, I'm standing there talking to some of the girls, because he had all of like the novice A team bring their paddles, so they could, like, we could look at the paddles. They could show us, because there's a lot of different paddle styles you can get and blah, blah, blah. So I'm talking to the girls, and one of the girls like, hey, listen, like, it's serious as far as like, yes, we are state champs, whatever, but you don't have to compete for a seat if that's not what you want to do. Like, we had a lot of girls, they just want to get in and have the camaraderie and get in a really good workout. Right. So they come in, they come to every practice, they're there, they're putting in effort, but they're not putting in a lot of effort. They're putting in a good effort, but they're not trying to win a seat. Right. So she's like, if that's what you want to do, that's perfectly okay. Like, don't let him scare you. She's like, but if you do want to win a seat.
Is he like a big Polynesian dude?
Yeah. They're both coaches are Polynesian guys. And she's like, if you do want to win a seat.
Tattoos down their arms and across their chest.
Yep. Okay. So she's like, if you do want to win a seat, a lot of what he does look for is effort. Like, if you put in effort, even if you're not great, he wants you to get some time in the boat. So she's like, and he will play favorites, and his favorites are those who are trying constantly, who are showing up, who are there, and everything else. So there's like different phases of the season. So I think he said like March, April, May is like preseason, where they'll set up some, I don't know, in football, it's a scrimmage where you're going against another team. So they do that. They set up, I'm assuming that Lonnie Kai probably sets up a lot with Kailua, because we're neighbors, They probably set up some races with them or whatever, just to get experience on the water. Because like, even though I've done rowing before, I've never done rowing on the water, which I have a good story about that. I'll get to that point also. But anyway, he's like, we do that. Then from June to August, that's regatta season. And then August through September is like you're racing, like longer races. They do a 10 mile, 20 mile, 30 mile. I think they do an inter-island, one from one to another. And so some of the girls are like, oh, well, like, what about, like, I saw that the different divisions, you had your novice A, novice B, women 20 to whatever, blah, blah. He was like, if you're new to this, don't think you're coming in and getting into those age divisions. Like, those women have been doing this for like 10 to 15 years competitively. This is what they do. Right. Like, if you're in the novice A team, you'll probably be there. You just need to realize that you're going to be there for a while, especially if you've just started. Like, don't come in with your sights set that next year I'm going to be so good, I'm going to be in this division. Like, it's just not going to happen. So I feel a little bit better about that. Like, okay, cool. But the camaraderie was really cool. Like, I hadn't met some of the girls, and they were like, hey, we're going to go over to Lonnie Kai Brewing, after this, and get some pizza and beer. Come over and hang out. So I'm like, okay, this will be a good way. So I get there, and we're sitting in the, group of us, and there's probably 15, 20 of us just to go, chat. Most of them are from the novice A group. They've all rowed together. There's a few newbies. So we're sitting there at the table, and one of the girls says really loud across the table, hey, I heard you were a competitive rower in Tahiti. Okay, so back up, rewind. When we're leaving, I'm talking
You
to
ain't never
a
been
woman.
to Tahiti in your life.
No, I'm talking to a woman, and she said, "So have you done this before?" I said, "No, I've rowed." I said, "Never on the water. I just had like a rowing machine back home in Texas." She's like, oh, "Okay," but she wasn't really paying attention because she was like looking for her son or whatever the deal was. So in her mind, a rowing machine in Texas translated to competitive rower in Tahiti. So
I was pretty competitive on my rowing machine in Texas, and sometimes Tahiti was on the screen.
Right. She's like, "So I hear you're a competitive rower in Tahiti," and like everybody stops and they're all looking at me, and I'm like, "Texas?" She's like, "Tahiti," and I'm like, "Texas," and she's like, "Tahiti?" And I'm like, "Nope, never been to Tahiti," and she's like, "Oh, well, what crew did you row for in Texas?" And I was like, "Nope, I just had a hydro rowing machine at my house." And then it's like everybody, like, it's just uncomfortable, right? And it's like, I went from being super cool, like, oh yeah, she was a competitive rower in Tahiti, to this bitch had a rowing machine in Texas. So the girl who asked, it's like, you could just see on her face, she just looks so comfortable. And she just looks around and she's like, "Hey, so are we going to order pizza? Did anybody order pizza yet?" Like, it just took me from being super cool, where everybody was like totally interested in hearing, like, "You're a competitive rower, like, we got a chance this year." And I'm like, "No, I just had a rowing machine
And
in my house in Texas."
you get in there and they're like, "You were a competitive rower, though." You're like, "It's been a while." You know?
Right, yeah, like, oh my God.
You should have just rolled with it.
You know what, I thought about it. I did consider for a whole second, I thought I should just say yes. But then my other thought was, fast forward to me out there looking like a moron, and they're like, and out of breath, and they're
don't even know how to do it.
What's happening. I don't know what the name of this is. Now, in my defense, if I didn't know, I could pull that off by saying, "Oh no, we rowed. We're paddling. It's like this."
You guys are paddling. Like straight up with an oar.
It's like the Moana. Yeah, it's like the Moana boat, canoe. That's what it is, an outrigger. So it's completely different, where you are rowing in with oars in a crew boat, but we are paddling.
She just
like
made up a name of a crew in Texas. Been like
man.
I don't even know. Like, I was with Come and Take It. And they're like, "Wait, what?" Like, yeah, that was the top.
But seeing her face, and everybody was like totally interested, and like, "Dang, this bitch is cool." To this girl just had a fucking rowing machine. Like, what beer are you getting? Like, it was just like, and it was funny because I feel like it was more mortifying for me than her, because it made me go from being super cool to like, oh, man. She just had a rowing machine. Like, anybody can do that.
Oh,
so anyway,
geez.
First practice is Tuesday. I have to go get fitted, but all the girls were like, and listen, I didn't know the sport was this expensive. I'm not going to lie. Like, I was like, "Oh, okay, I get it. It's $265 for the dues, because it's, club, and that would pay for whatever, shirts or whatever you have to get." So then I'm like talking to them about getting a paddle, and they're like, "Yeah, you have to actually go get fitted for a paddle, because it's like based on, whatever."
Right.
And I'm like, "Oh, so how much do those run?" And the girls are like, "Oh, usually between $320 and $350. And I'm like, "A paddle?" And then the girls are like, "Yeah, but here's what I would do. Like, if you've never done this before, you're not sure you're going to stick with it, go to one of those places, have them measure you, go to Facebook Marketplace." Yeah. She said people sell them all the time, because it's like they get into it thinking they're going to do it. They don't, or they move, or whatever. So I looked it up, and there's tons listed. I just need to know what size I am. But I'm scared and excited.
Just cut off the edge.
Right?
Oh, it's good. That's good. It's going to be fun. Tahiti, just a competitive rower in Tahiti.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so now my other errand was supposed to be to get fitted for a paddle and to find a gym.
And you didn't.
I did neither.
Yeah, you just texted me. You kept texting me pictures of the beach yesterday. Yeah. Just pictures of the beach. We were supposed to record yesterday, and it was like, "Oh, track meet. I'll be there for 45 minutes. 3 hours later. I'm like, "Don't even worry about it. Like, it ain't happening." So,
yep.
Anyways.
But I also have to say, I probably will have to go back to, with the working out and everything, I'm most likely going to have to kind of go back a little bit, scale back on me just having a free-for-all with food and drink.
Yeah. You got to.
Because I'm kind of having the same health issues I had before, which I thought, "Oh, well, now I'm on this thyroid medication. That will take care of." No, it doesn't. Like, it makes sure
helps your thyroid.
My thyroid's regulated. But I'm still having the same health issues that I had before. So now I've just kind of decided I'm going to have to, scale back. No more ice cream.
Yeah. Speaking of ice cream, for Lexi's birthday, Val bought red, white, and blue. It's from Kroger. It's called red, white, and blue sorbet. And it's bomb pop in an ice cream. And it's not really ice cream, it's sorbet. And it was actually pretty good.
Interesting.
Like, like the bomb pops, the red, white, and blue
Right.
bomb pops. Yeah, they're good. They're
I'll
good.
have to
Anyways,
think about that. Anyway.
diet for me starts Monday. I've been since my birthday, kind of a little bit before. That's our motto. Diet starts Monday.
Diet starts
and
Monday.
I'm going to be back at it. In fact, I told Val the other night, Val and Ava, we were in the hot tub after Ava's track meet, and I said, tomorrow it was February 29th, and I said, tomorrow I'm going to start my diet and start eating right again. I've just, been feeling kind of bloated and things. And Val goes on Lexi's birthday, and I'm like, okay, fine. Like, yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. So the next morning I wake up and go get donuts, and I'm like stuffing my face with donuts. And Ava's straight up like, you can't eat this. You're not supposed to eat this. You told me you're starting, you know how Ava is.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, so I'm starting Monday.
Never start a diet when the weekend's coming. That's why you always got to start it on a Monday.
That's right. I'm going to get back at it. I got to about, I gained about 2 pounds, 3 pounds since I had my lowest. And now I figure I can get back on it and maybe shed another 10. That's the way I look at it. Like I'll gain up and then my body will be like, oh, it's this way. And then I cut all that out again and my body's like, whoosh. So that's my plan.
Plus paddling.
Yeah. Gonna be a paddler. Well, good. Well, Holly, two last things I want to talk about. First is, my weekly manifestation. Okay.
Right.
We've been talking about manifesting things for a long time. And for those that maybe this is your first show you're listening to, I talk about how I believe when I think of a person or I think of something, I feel like that other person is probably having kind of a similar thought. Like they're thinking like, oh, let me just think of a random time or a random thing. I'm like, oh man, just something just pops into my head randomly. And I'm like, oh yeah, I wonder what that person's up to. And then without fail, something happens or, we've talked about it over and over, like in business and things like that. So the other night, I was scrolling. I grew up at 12 years old. I started playing hockey because of Paul, and Paul was from Detroit area and he was a Detroit Red Wings fan. So I grew up, when we watched hockey, I liked the Red Wings.
And Paul, for everybody, he was married to our sister.
Yes. And so I always just watched the Red Wings. They were red. My favorite color is red. It's the Red Wings.
Really?
And so
What's your favorite color?
Yeah. You won't let me wear it though on the podcast. You say it makes me look bad.
It does make you look. It makes your face very red.
Yeah. So I don't wear it.
I didn't realize that red was your favorite. That's a random. I don't know. I feel like people's favorite colors are always like blue, green, except mine. Mine's gray and brown. Go figure. Go ahead.
Are those even colors? Those are shades.
Shades, whatever.
That's
olive
like
green
saying
and navy blue.
It's like saying corn's a vegetable.
Green. Right.
Corn's a starch.
Green, navy blue, dark gray, charcoal gray, and brown. Brown looks good on me. I always like the colors that look good on me. That's why.
Well,
so go ahead.
Anyways, red's my favorite color. So I like the Red Wings. So I followed the Red Wings years and years and years and years ago when I first started on Facebook. And so I still get random Detroit Red Wings things on my Facebook feed. So it was
follow them though at all, or you just kind of fell out of hockey?
Nah, ever since probably high school or a little earlier, I don't really follow hockey. Anyways, so I'm like, well, but we live up here and the Stars are up here and I don't mind the Stars. I don't dislike the Stars. And so I'm like, oh, I wonder if the Stars are playing the Red Wings. Mm-hmm. And then the thought comes to my mind, well, I know James, one of my best friends, James, he has season tickets to the Stars. And I'm like, man, he's got 4 tickets. And I'm like, man, James hasn't invited me to a hockey game yet. Maybe he'll invite me one day. And I'm not going to invite myself, right? And so I'm like, yeah, maybe he'll invite me one day. But I'm like, in the meantime, I'm going to look to see if the Stars play, if they play the Red Wings. So I'm looking at the schedule, and this is Wednesday night. And I'm looking at the schedule, and I'm like, oh, they don't play him again, but they play San Jose. And Jared kind of likes the San Jose Sharks, doesn't know anything about them. Right. Knows nothing, but they're from the San Francisco area. He likes obviously the 49ers, the
what
Giants.
What is your team? I'm like Giants, Niners, Warriors, Sharks. Yeah. Nothing about the Warriors and the Sharks.
Right. So he likes the Warriors because of all that. So for me, I'm like, whatever. So I see they play him, and then I'm like, okay, well, how much are tickets? Oh, it's not too expensive. You get tickets for $20. And so that's Wednesday night. Thursday morning, 9:30 a.m. Mm-hmm. Thursday morning, I get a call. Wednesday night, 11 o'clock, I'm sitting in my bed looking at tickets.
Right.
Thursday morning, 9:30 a.m., I get a call from James.
And they were playing the Sharks on Thursday?
No. It was just
Friday?
They played the Sharks another time.
Got it.
So I get a call, but I had put out into the universe, right, I want to go to a Stars game. It would be fun to go to a Stars game. And James has season tickets.
Right.
Now, mind you, my birthday was Tuesday. This is Wednesday. Right. James calls me Thursday and he says, hey man, I've got these tickets to the Stars tonight, where there's a game tonight. And last night I was trying to figure out who I wanted to take to the game. Last night I was trying to figure out who to take to the game. And I was like, oh, we should, Bodie's been wanting Jason. Bodie's been wanting Jared to go. And it's your birthday. So I figured, why don't, if you guys can come to the game with me tonight. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I haven't thought about going to a hockey game in all the years of my life. Right. Never had thought about it.
Right. And
for the Stars game.
And even in Frisco, I lived right next to the facility where they trained.
Right. Never thought.
Still never talked about it. Yeah.
Never once talked about going to a game. Just kind of put it out there because I saw a Red Wings clip, and here we are. And he goes, that's so funny and I told him, I said, dude, you're not gonna believe this. And he, of course, he and I both are big believers in manifesting. And he's like, dude, yeah, man, manifested that. And then we both laughed about it because I'm like, you were probably thinking about it at the same time I was thinking about it. Like last night, 11 o'clock, you're like, I got these tickets. I need so you can go. And here we are. So that was my manifesting for the week. Went to the game, had a great time. It was just had a blast. So
good.
That was my manifesting of the week.
Is hockey going to be something you think that you guys will do more?
Yeah. So me and Jared were sold. So, I was already looking into season tickets and how much are they and things like that. Cause I don't know that I do season tickets, but it's fun. It was a fun
who
thing.
Goes with James normally? I mean, could you just be like, yo, bro, if you don't have anybody to go, let me buy the tickets.
He usually has, people from his business and things like that.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So he only has, so he splits them with somebody else too. So he's got half the season. So anyways, so that was my weekly manifesting. So cool. Scarin, there you go. There's another example, in my opinion, of manifesting.
I'll tell you, there's been a few times where I've had Scarin still. I'm like, girl, go put this out. She'll put it out and it happens.
I'm telling you.
It's crazy.
So I don't know how long, Holly, that you want to talk about this, but this is our last thing we're going to talk about today. And I mean, did you get a different haircut? I mean, you look like you got a different haircut.
So let's start. So before we talk about the haircut though, have you ever, if you could time travel to any point in time ever, for any event, whatever, where would you time travel? For what event? At your age now, not like I'm going to rewind time and go back as an 8-year-old.
No, I got you.
Where would you go?
What could I go see as a 41-year-old?
If there was something you could go see or an event you wanted to be at, like the Oslo Accord, the signing of the Magna Carta. Why do I feel like you're going to be 1989 Super Bowl?
That's the first thought that came to my mind. I'm not even kidding. That was I go back and watch the Super Bowl. I didn't see where Joe Montana takes the Niners down the field, hits John Taylor in the end zone. I've only seen pictures of it, or videos. I've only seen moving pictures. Yeah, I was 89.
Was that 89?
But it wouldn't be that. Second thought came to my mind was Jesus. So I'm just gonna put it out there. Jesus probably number one. But I would say
the 49ers.
Jesus number one in my heart. I would have to say, take that out. Take Jesus out. Cause that's just number one, just to be there. Okay. Never, you got to put me on the spot here.
Any event, any time period, any event, doesn't even have to be a big event. It could just be, I would go see Elvis before he died or little,
yeah.
The Big Bopper.
I would want to say I'd probably have to be I don't know. Honestly,
choose one thing. Do it.
I'm thinking. Obviously, I'm going to cut all this out, but
right. Or you should leave it. That way, people can see how long it's actually taking you to make a decision.
My mind just keeps going. My mind just keeps going back to 1776, right? Okay. Maybe seeing some of these old guys, George Washington, signing the Declaration of Independence kind of a thing.
That'd be cool. That gave me goosebumps. You can't tell because I'm wearing long sleeves, but that literally gave me some goosebumps thinking about that.
Yeah, going back to that and hey, we're taking our life. You know what I mean? We're taking it. This is us. Maybe even actually, I think I would like to be kind of at the Alamo. I think that would have been an interesting one to be at.
You would have died because everybody died at the Alamo on our side.
Not everybody. I would have run away. Are you kidding me? I'd have run away.
Coward.
Yeah. No, okay, fine. San Jacinto. I'm going to go to San Jacinto behind Sam Houston. And
go to San Jack too. All right.
Independence of Texas. Not just because I'm a Texas homer, but let's be real. Who else had an independence? We're celebrating Texas independence. Who had an independence?
Country.
California wasn't we're fighting for California. Right. They just were okay, here's another state. Right. But America, and Texas. Who else? Was there anybody else who fought?
You know, that's why the Texas state flag is able to fly at the same height as the American flag, because that was one thing that they wanted to make sure that they put in the treaty when they signed with to become a state. Every other state flag has to fly below the American flag. Texas is the only one that's allowed to fly equal. That's why.
Yep. I did know that.
And they had a ton of people from all over America go fight for Texas independence.
Yeah.
So
Davy Crockett, all of them, man. Jim Bowie.
Who created gum? Who is the father behind gum as we know it? Do you know? I know you know. You told me this fact.
I told you that
third grade.
Oh, Mr. Wrigley.
No.
I don't remember.
Santa Anna.
Santa Anna.
Credit Santa Anna with it. He used to cut the tree sap out and chew it.
I told you that in third grade.
Like third grade. I will never forget that. He was the father of modern gum. You must have learned it somewhere. Okay.
Probably.
So you're choosing that?
Yeah, I'll choose Texas.
Okay. I'm going to choose Wednesday morning at 9:29 a.m. 1 minute prior to my haircut.
Which haircut? One you have now or the previous one?
Right now.
Okay.
This one right now I'm not happy about. Let me tell you this story. I can't go back to Utah right now. Obviously, I wear it well. Let's get that out there. I look good with short hair. So it doesn't matter if I have a shitty cut. I'm going to do something with it. Not being conceited. I just have a face for short hair. I'm looking for this picture so I can show everybody what the reference picture is. So I post on Facebook. I'm in a group on Facebook that's 30 plus women of Oahu. So I post in there, hey, just moved here a couple months ago, looking for a stylist who can cut short hair. Do you have any recommendations? So I get a few people messaging me. Then I posted the picture, which this is the reference picture. Does it show? I post that. Start getting some responses. A girl reaches out to me via Facebook Messenger. Says, hey, I cut hair. Been doing it for X amount of years. I, would love to cut your hair, blah, blah, blah. So a lot of people who were telling me like, oh, you should go see this person. They're like way across the island. They're, North Shore area. They're Honolulu, which is, 30 to 45 minute drive, like all of this different stuff. And so this girl says, here's, whatever. I'm in Kailua. So I'm like, shoot, she's right up the road from me. So I go on her Instagram and I'm like, well, you don't really have any short dues on your Instagram, like everything's long. She's like, oh, I have tons of pictures. I just normally post, most people just, get the long style. So that's what I really have. She sends me a lot of pictures of short dues she's done. So I'm like, okay, perfect. I book with her. I get another message from another girl who's like, hey, so I've been to a lot of different stylists on the island with short hair and they've just butchered my hair. Like I finally found this girl after like 5 years. I drive like over an hour one way to get my hair done from her, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, I'll keep that in mind. So I'm going to try this girl because she's here in Kailua, blah, blah. And she's like, oh yeah, I've never gone to her. She said, I was just a little concerned because she posted her Instagram and she doesn't have anything on there with short hair. I said, yeah, she did send me a bunch of pictures though. Short styles she's done. So she's like,
I thought you were going to say, I got another message and it's like, do not go to this lady.
Oh no. So I schedule my appointment. I get in. Okay. Now granted, the hairstyle I wanted her to do, I had already gotten in.
That was the last one.
Mm-hmm. Right. So all she had to do, so she goes, what are we doing? I said, we're just doing a cleanup. Just follow the lines. I just need a fresh shave on the back. I said, I want to go a little bit shorter here on the side as far as the shave is concerned, because we kind of kept it a little bit longer because Danielle was like, I just have some concerns about us doing this style with her shape of face versus yours. So we stayed, and I told Danielle, I was like, well, I want to go a little bit shorter. She's like, oh yeah, you totally could. It would look great, And so I tell the girl, like, I just wanted a little bit shorter in the back, like just do a trim in the back as far as, the back, it goes down into like a V. And when my hair in the back gets too long, it kind of does this weird flippy thing, flips out. So I'm like, I just want you to do like a little bit shorter in the back and then take off a little bit on top and maybe do a little texturing. Okay, so my hair previously, when I went in that day, this was my hair right before. So you can see, all that. I get in, wearing my glasses because I wear my glasses when I go to Danielle, my hairstylist in Utah. I trust that she knows what she's doing. Big mistake. I can't see what she's doing because I don't have my glasses on. She's cutting away, blah, blah, blah. She finishes us up. And so no color, just the cut. And I'm like, put on my glasses. Like, this looks nothing like the picture. Nothing,
Right.
like nothing. Can you see the back?
Yeah. You went shorter for sure.
So I just didn't even know what to say at this point. I don't want to be rude because she has another client in there. And now I'm like, what could I possibly say? Like, it's done. And I'm also like, it's gone. And I'm also not the type that's going to be like, I'm not going to pay you. Like,
right.
I paid her for her time. Now, the part that got me was $80 fucking dollars.
I could have done that.
To cut my hair, to butcher my hair, first of all. No cut. I mean, no color, no eyebrow color, no nose hair. Like when I go to Danielle charges me usually about $70. That's for a cut, for 2 colors, my eyebrows, my nose hair. 70. This woman was $80. I was so angry. I get home and everybody, you know, and here's the thing.
Did you tip her?
Like,
Did you tip her on top of the 80?
I always tip, you know, because it's not her salon.
Okay.
She has to pay rent there to somebody else. So regardless of it being bad, I tipped fairly. That's just by human nature. That's who I am because I've worked in the service industry. I will always tip. Even if I get a bad server at a restaurant, I'm never going to leave 0. I will at least leave the standard of 15, 20%. I'm stewing by the time I get home. I am just super angry. I send the messages to Danielle.
You didn't text me, I don't think.
No, I didn't because I planned on, I knew we were recording Thursday. I was so angry Wednesday, I didn't text you about it. So then by the time I was going to, I was like, oh no, I can talk about this on the show tomorrow. I was so angry Wednesday. Like I didn't even leave the house. I was so mad.
Wow.
Thursday, I was still mad. And of course, everybody, you know, who I did text about it. And of course, I sent it to Danielle. And I'm like, she butchered my hair. And Danielle's like, uh-oh. So I send her the pictures. And it's like, I could just see Danielle in my mind on the other side, like, oh, shit. Like, oh, shit, you know?
Right.
She says nothing for like the longest. And finally, I'm like, tell me something. Like, say something. You can't just sit in silence. Like, I'm pissed. This looks nothing like I wanted. She says, this is what she says. It's a lot shorter. It's not the picture for sure. You won't need a cut for a little while. Smiley face. Like she's trying to be positive about this. And I'm like, it's terrible, isn't it? Don't lie to me. I just want to cry. Like, I'm so upset. And she's like, it's only terrible if you compare it to the reference picture, but you can definitely pull it off. And then I tell her how much it was, you know, how much it was. And she's like, holy fuck. Like, I can't believe that.
Like, I'm moving to Hawaii to cut hair from now on.
For real. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to have to wear a week. And she's like, you can't. Or I'm going to wear a hat. And she's like, you can't. You'll look bald. Because I showed her the back of my hair.
Yeah.
And I'm like, great. So, and then of course everybody's like, but it's not a bad cut. I'm like, listen, it's not the principle.
Yeah.
It's not a terrible cut. It doesn't look awful. It's not what I wanted.
Right.
That's why I'm upset. Like literally all she had, the lines were here. All she had to do was shave it, bring this up a tiny bit, shave it, cut. I mean, I don't know that I've ever had it this short. I mean, I have had it this short, but it's been a long time.
Right.
This is not what I wanted. So needless to say, my time travel whole ordeal would be back to Wednesday, 9/29, where I would say, actually, and I had a nagging feeling the whole time, like maybe I shouldn't go to her. Maybe I should listen. So I text the other girl and I was like,
send me your number.
Yeah.
Not your number, but her number.
I sent her, I said, just so you're a reminder, this was the reference picture. Here's what I got. And she's like, oh my God. She's like, the thing that gets me, and here's my whole point in this. I'm all about like self-confidence and, you know, believing in yourself, but know your limitations. Like cutting long hair is significantly different than cutting short hair. Now, Danielle, she doesn't specialize in short hair. Danielle is just good overall. Been doing it for a long time. She does all kinds of hair. She's like that rare gem. And maybe the whole thing was she thought she could do it.
Right. I mean, well, how hard can it be? I mean, she probably cuts boys' hair and things like that.
But totally not the style. And I feel like cutting short hair is completely different. Like cutting long hair is easy. You're just trim, done. I won't say it's easy. It's not like I could get into it. Don't get me wrong. But the fact that this is what, and she's like, looks great, holds the picture. This is what gets me. Has the audacity to hold the picture. Looks great. I'm like,
oh man.
Like, what do you even say?
I mean, cutting hair is difficult. I used to cut hair on my mission. I would cut missionaries' hair. But I was always using guards, like even when I cut my kids' hair, things like that. And my favorite is I cut this one kid's hair and he's like, no, I'm not letting you cut my hair. I'm like, dude, let me do it. I mean, I've been cutting hair for a year. Like,
right.
I cut hair all the time for missionaries. Like, I cut my own hair. I would do my own hair. I'm like, dude, it looks fine.
And you had hair. Uh-huh.
I still cut my own hair. And I trim my beard. I mean, sometimes.
Okay. Fair point.
And I'm cutting his hair and I'm like, I've never done a scissor cut. So I'm like, but he didn't want like an 8 guard, you know?
Right.
And so I'm like, I'll do a scissor cut. I've seen people do it. And the scissor cut looked fine. The scissor cut looked great. I then was like, okay, let me fade it in. So I take a comb with the razor and I'm like, let me fade it. And all of a sudden the comb, like the razor was outside of the comb length and it went, and it looked like Vanilla Ice, straight up like line. And I'm like, so I just trimmed it up like short. I'm like, dude, I got to go shorter. So I had to go super short. He ended up like with a mushroom head and
never went back to it again, I bet.
This line, no, I never cut his hair again. And it was terrible. So the worst though is like when something like that happens, like if I'm trimming my beard or whatever, I shave my beard and I cut something and then I have to like trim it up and I'm like, oh my gosh, now I look terrible. But I cut Jared's hair one time. He was in 4th grade and Jared had long hair. Yeah. And it was in the summer, like summer just started. And I'm like, I'm just going to give you a summer cut, right? So I turn on the tablet. He's watching a show on the tablet. And I just take the longest. No, I took a 4 guard. I was going to go 4, 3, 2, right? And I take the 4 guard and I just buzz him. And he's not paying attention. And then he looks up. I'm like, all right, bud, you're done. And he looks up and he starts crying. He's like, what did you do? I'm like, bro, it's for the summer. Like I thought we were doing like a summer cut. And he is bawling. And I think that was the last time I cut his hair.
Say probably the last time you cut his hair.
4th to 5th grade, man. Like, you know, he ended up getting super long hair. And in 5th grade, it was really long, but not like long down, but just long. But
Well, Jason won't let you cut your hair, his hair either because you did something to it.
Jason won't let me cut his hair. There came a point though, Mom used to cut my hair, and there came a point where I'm like, Mom, you can't cut my hair anymore. Like,
what happened with Jace? What was the deal? Because he will not let you.
I cut it short.
Oh, you hurt him. You like nicked him or something with a razor.
On his ear or something like that.
Yeah. And after that, he's like, nope, you're out, Dad.
Yeah.
Done.
He won't let me cut his hair. Won't let me do it. So, well, anyways, Holly, your hair looks fine. I think that, I mean, I did notice it was a little short when he got on because I hadn't seen you, you know, since our last show a couple weeks ago. So,
it's definitely more shorter.
But it'll grow back. See, the cool thing is now it's short the way you want it. So when you actually go back to her now,
oh no, you've lost your mind.
You'll have the line still. I saw the line back there.
But the problem is it took me like months to grow it out long enough in the back to have that style. Because if you look at that picture, it's longer in the back. It's going to take me months.
Listen. It'll grow longer and you just trim up the sides again and you'll have it and you'll see it. It won't be that long. And my buddies are all
like, you know what? You need to go to a barber. Go to a barber shop.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I did that in Utah for a little while when we lived up north and Danielle was still south. And so the barber guy, he just would do the fades. He did an excellent fade, but he would tell me like, yo, girl, I can't cut no white person hair. Like, you need to come in with your hair up like this and I'll do your fade.
Right.
But everything on top I can't do. But I can do your trim up because I wouldn't, you know, he would basically do that in between the weeks. But it just ended up being worse and worse as it went on to the point where it was like, I finally was like, I can't go back to this guy anymore. He did an excellent fade, but with the way that my hair was being up and everything, Danielle's like, quit going to this guy. But I would come home. He would do my fade, right? This is the best part. My hair would be up like this. He would do my fade. I'd come home. And then, you know, I'd like, whatever. And then big chunks would just come out because it was styled up. And so he could have like nicked it a little bit. So I'd have huge chunks of my hair. That's when I was like, I can't go back to this guy anymore.
Done.
He doesn't know what he's doing. But I might try a barber shop in the meantime for the fade part of it. And just because this is so short, this is going to take time to grow.
Yeah. Well, good luck with all that.
I'm upset though. But anyway.
It'll be fine. You'll live. The good thing is, Holly, hair grows back.
I know. Very true. Very true. But in real life, if I had to choose one event to go back to.
That was it, huh? Oh, real life.
What I would choose, like in real life. Man, that is a hard question.
Yeah. A lot of things to choose from.
A lot of things. A lot of things. I would probably go back to, I don't know. I'm going to say,
made me choose, and you just left me, and I don't know. Just so you guys know, I cut it out. That's literally 2 minutes. I'm like, I don't even know.
Yeah, it would probably be something like, I don't know, probably to see like a musician who's now dead, who I can never see again, right? Like it would have to be probably something around music. I don't know which musician though.
Selena.
Amor prohibido, amor and por las calles.
Well, with that, let's go ahead and wrap it up for today. Where would you go? What would you want to see? Put it on the poll. If you could go back in time, what would you see? Holly, it's great catching up with you. We've been on here for a long time, and hopefully next time we'll have our show and I'm not too busy and you're not traveling. So we will see you guys next time. Thanks for being here. Take care.
Aloha.
Hey, what's up, my channel? Please hit the drop a like and hit the subscribe button. Looking for my first subscriber. Can't subscribe myself. Can't do that for some reason. I don't know why. Wish you could.